Let's see if the Walt Whitman curse continues here. All right. So that just a miserable fail again on using YouTube live stream. It is significantly easier to just use. Now it looks like the audio is barely like even being picked up. And I'm afraid to check it because if I check it, it goes into some endless loop just by listening to my own headphones, which makes no sense at all. Okay, I'm going to have to listen for a second here, though, to see what you're listening to. This is crazy. What a stupid problem. Yes, Microsoft is a headphone again. Operating system filled with AI, and they can't figure out whether I'm putting a headphone on or not. Sounds like more like an advertising platform to me. Okay. I don't know. I don't hear endless feedback loop, and I see myself. I don't know if I'm listening to myself or not. It shouldn't be terrible. I don't know, quite frankly. All right. So, in the previous video, I said that distractions get in the way of like your core function. And I guess I really wanted to prove myself right. So, there's some kind of curse with me and Walt Whitman. So honestly, I can't wait to get rid of this book. I'm giving it back as soon as I can. At this point, I just got an email from them saying, hey, you got to give it back to us. I'm going to literally go there immediately and give it back to them after this broadcast. But just for fun. What about, look at how this is all it is sometimes. Sometimes it's short and sweet. Sometimes it's long. So I'll read both of those to you. And then I won't burn the book, but if I owned it, I might sacrifice this one. Sometimes it's just like the demons possess the books. Not really, but it's this one. There's something with me and Walt Whitman just ain't connecting. I don't know. No labor saving machine, nor discovery have I made, nor will I be able to leave behind me any wealthy bequest to found a hospital or library, nor reminiscence of any deed of courage for America, nor literary success, nor intellect, nor book for the bookshelf, but a few carols vibrating through the air I leave for comrades and lovers. Well, it turns out he was wrong about that one, eh? Here it is. He did leave it behind, and I'm holding on to it. Oh well. A glimpse through an interticed of a crowd of workmen and drivers in a barroom around the stove late of winter night, and I unremarked seated in a corner. Of a youth who loves me and whom I love, silently approaching and seating himself near, that he may hold me by the hand a long while amid the noises of coming and going, of drinking and oath and smutty jest. There we two, content, happy in being together, speaking little, perhaps not a word. Well, I don't think I should say another word, and I should go get rid of this book as quickly as I possibly can before I sacrifice it to some kind of tribalistic kind of fire. But that's ridiculous. Another thing to get in the way of my true purpose here today. So yesterday I was working on writing a spec. I should continue. The website you see, writersdesk.ca, was designed by myself, yours truly, and I'm using it right now to type my spec. And I think it's quite a nice solution for writers. It's designed really to engage with readers and actually to make writers into readers as well. You should read, you should write, you should read what you wrote. Other people should read what you wrote. Though I find that you don't want to depend on other people that much in some sense, because it can completely torpedo your creative aspirations to continue. I don't think anyone understands, like artists do, the impact that negativity can have on us, quite frankly. I mean, the weight of the world, the atrocities, the kind of the fear mongering, it affects, I think, certain people more. And it's important to isolate yourself from the pure negativity, which is ironic given that I'm opening myself up during my creative process to welcome the world in for this period of time. And your comments more than likely will have some impact on me, whether I would care to admit it or not. So I guess if you want more art, you should be a little kinder to artists. It's a tough process, and everyone has their varying thickness of skin to deal with basically other people's opinions, whether they are real opinions or passing by opinions, thoughtless, deep or shallow. So with that in mind, try to be a little kinder out there in this chaotic world, and maybe we'll see some more beauty created by artists when you do that. So with that in mind, a little sidetrack there. Writer's Desk encourages an easy flow of asking people to read for you, and there's a what's called a beta reading kind of component to the application. If you don't have people, or you want to expand your readers, there's a built-in what I've called a bounty system, where I post up, or someone can post up a bounty, and it offers rewards. There's credits internally within the system to pay for these rewards or bounties. And if you subscribe as the different levels of premium user, you get a monthly allowance of these things to help build the economy. And the whole goal of that is to really just create a community that connects with one another through writing and reading, some feedback, and so on and so forth. You can use those credits to purchase the monthly, the premium plans, the monthly or annually. So if you sign up, you can sign up for a free account. You can essentially work for writers by reading and giving some feedback to them, and then use that to increase your plan or to do the same thing. So it seemed like a pain point that a lot of writers seem to be facing online, and quite frankly, myself included to some extent. You write and you write and you write, and you can easily publish to self-publish with Amazon, which I feel like probably gets watered down in terms of the quality of content, and eventually that means is you're probably watering down demand, and also the price that you're going to put. Like if I write 100,000 word novel and sell it for $1 a piece, like it's a long way to make that a reasonable um, value proposition for the amount of work that goes into doing that. So, anyways, I didn't really feel like there was a solution to help somewhere between amateurs and maybe semi-professional. You know, the guys that are on the bestseller list that keep publishing books of men and women probably don't need this application, but maybe they find it useful too. I don't know. But for the rest of us, this is somewhat of a barter system, if you will, to hopefully create a very vibrant, creative community, and then we'll go from there. And I'm the one that built it with some help from the modern technology, and here I am, live on YouTube, and you can come and find me and talk to me if you want. Then tell me if you want something different feature, less of a feature, something else, what have you. But the premise from the very beginning was to foster writing. So we're really trying to get, myself included, look at me talking away here instead of writing. So it's like, fundamentally, as a writer, you can find so many different things to do besides writing. So the premise was, how do I help writers just write? And there's, myself included, there's an editor in here. You can turn off, it's fairly simple. I wanted to actually kind of go with a typewriter feel to the editor. The benefit of the typewriter is there's no spell check. You can't go back. You just hammer that key, the ink hits the paper, and you live with the results. And there's a time for editing and there's a time for writing. That's what the editor function works as, and beyond that, some other details about trying to encourage characters and story structure, and readers. I have version control, so you can actually look at the changes. So one of the big things that I noticed myself is when you get deeper into a longer format or a longer story, you make changes to the way you describe something or whatever happens to be within that story. But it's like, it's so, you forget that you might have done that, or maybe you preferred saying it a different way or writing it a different way. So version control, I kind of stealing that from my programming background, is something that shows you truly the various, I'm not getting my hand gestures in here, it shows you the various changes of the file that you've been working on or the program you've been working on, and it shows you what you had before and then what you've changed, and then you have this entire history of that available to you. So they're just tools. Fundamentally, you don't need them. You need to write, just like I need to write right now. But they're available. I have used, because it's an expensive feature, only for the pro tier can use a text-to-speech feature, which actually sends your manuscript to a third-party service, Google, and it comes back with someone reading it back to you, which I find, I read out loud what I've written to try to make it sound more natural. I think it helps. Again, another tool to use. This one is a slightly more modern version of it. It's like someone else is reading it back to you, which is kind of nice. So that's available. Again, we've got You can invite for free your beta readers to come and join the platform and read. And there's sort of a section for them to read. It's separate from the writing section. You get feedback, progress reports. So a big pain point with that I noticed online was that writers describe giving their material to readers. I've done the same too, and you're kind of like, so how far are you into it? What do you think? Are you reading it? Didn't you read it? We care more about what we've created, so you want that kind of more instant feedback, but the unknown kind of haunts us a little bit too, right? So that's the trying to make it slightly more known. Hey, they've read none, 10%, 50%, the whole thing. So that you can have a bit more of a communication with getting some feedback from the reader without directly needing to like pounce on them and find out what they think and putting too much pressure on them or yourself to get some feedback. So with that in mind, at the same time, there's this whole system of bounties where you can let people read or edit or do different things, whatever kind of service you're kind of looking for. The way that works is the bounties, posting a bounty costs some of your credits, but then once you've done that, you can either kind of post a simple one or a featured bounty, but you get to select and describe what it is you want done. So that I leave up to the community eventually to decide what the price point is for stuff. We let economics happen and the little micro economy that exists on this platform. But there was really no limitation. So it's not all just for reading, though fundamentally anyone that's providing you a service as a writer probably needs to read what you wrote, whatever it is. So it's really a platform for writers, readers, but probably to make writers into readers as well, and see where that goes. So that's it. That's Writer's Desk. That's the application. And without further ado, I should probably get to writing. Oh, I should mention also that I built in a kind of book report style functionality that, I'll be honest, I'm a little hesitant to use, but I'm still learning to kind of teach myself to try to apply, which is when you read a book, say something like The Steppenwolf here, or something with more chapters, since there's a very limited amount of chapters in that book. You can do chapter summaries, you can do characters, you can talk about the different characters in the book, you can have it take quotes. I like taking quotes when I'm reading something, prose, different pieces of prose, whatever it is that kind of catches your eye. You can compile that into just part of your reading. And then last but not least, I completely forgot to mention, there's statistics to encourage you to both write and read. It's kind of like a fitness app where it's like, how many steps a day did you take? Well, in this case, how many words did you write? How often are you writing? How many pages did you read? How often are you reading? Whatever you want. So it's a platform for reading as well. And I think with encouraging people to be slightly more critical of their reading, in the sense of stopping to take a minute to actually write about what it is they're reading, I'm also tricking you into writing more. So all roads lead to the realm of just writing more often and writing different things, writing reviews, thinking about the stories you're reading, the characters, thinking about other people's stories, and putting it all together. And pursuit of becoming a better writer, fundamentally. So, and truly last but not least, there is a profile section. And the profile section, when you sign up for the site, is hidden. There's 3 levels of privacy. So you have completely hidden, you have available to be seen within the application, or you have public. And the public, I'm kind of taking from, I don't know if I should say, but I want to create a writer's version of kind of a link tree. So it's sort of this sort of simple profile, MySpace, Facebook, whatever, kind of a thing, where you have your links, you have a couple details, you can adjust some of the information that's being shown, you can showcase parts of your work just if you want, so sort of a Substack kind of a vibe. You have statistics, you have your reading list, you have your community participation website. I have a YouTube link for featured video. I have podcasts that I need to do something else with. I have a link, you can add your podcast, you can add your various social links, and so on and so forth, that form your profile. And if you visit the website, well, you'll see mine since it's out there and it's public. So now, without further ado, I will get back to the writing desk and writing. What am I going to do since I'm still talking? What's the first thing I'm going to do at this moment in time? Well, like Ernest Hemingway was famously known for, at least in one of his novels, he reread everything he had written before he began writing again. Now, that gets a little long in the tooth if you are pretty deep into your novel, but fundamentally it makes sure that you know your story in depth, you know where you are, it kind of puts you back into the mindset that you had when you were last writing, deviating from all the other distractions that you have in life and focusing in on the task at hand. So that's it, and I'll continue to broadcast. I see that I get no action on this format. Versus using my cell phone, which is unfortunate, but we're going to keep going with this direction for now. Or should I just stop the broadcast and get to work? I don't know. Maybe. All you're going to hear is me typing. It's kind of fun leaving it running and adding content into the ether, since it seems like the only way to get any attention in this day and age. Maybe just for fun, I should read something else to you that is my own work. Not yet. So should I wrap there? I think I'm going to. So thanks for tuning in if you did. I think there might have been someone watching. And thanks for watching after the fact if you did. And check out Writer's Desk. And subscribe. And have a great day.